Hello and welcome back to my Pokemon Top Team series. In this series I'll be giving you the best team for each starter in a certain region, and this is the third episode for the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Hoenn region. This episode will feature my top team for Swampert and why I'm choosing each Pokemon that will be on this team. Something before the video starts is that this team is simply designed to get your starter through the game, and it's designed to get Swampert over the biggest hurdles that you'll encounter in Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. This is also not the strongest possible team that you'll be able to make for Swampert. This is just my recommendation and based on my experience of playing the game, which I did pick Swampert as my starter for Omega Ruby, so I'm very familiar with good Pokemon that you can pick for him. Another thing is that I will try my best to not duplicate Pokemon across the top teams for these videos, so there might be good Pokemon you would want, but they might already be on my team for Sceptile and Blaziken, and I'm also going to avoid version exclusives where I can. So without further ado, let's get into it! Of course, the first Pokemon we have on our team will be Swampert. It's safe to say that Swampert is definitely the strongest pick you can make for a starter in Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. Ground and Water is an amazing combo, only weak to Grass. Sure, it's a quad weakness, but it's so great defensively, and its stats are really nice as well. Good attack at 110, nice HP and good defenses, so very bulky. It's more on the slower side, but it doesn't really matter, it's very bulky at that, and it does so much across the region. And when it's Mega Evolved, it gets a massive 160 attack, so it's even better when it's Mega Evolved. It's so nice. The moveset I'm going to choose for Swampert will be Waterfall, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Brick Break. Waterfall will be your highest power physical water move, and you can get that as a HM in Sootopolis City. That'll be your highest power physical water move, and you want to go with physical because Mega Swampert is obviously a physical attacker, as is regular Swampert, so Waterfall's the best option. 80 power, 100 accuracy, it's very consistent. The next move we have is Earthquake, and again that's also a very powerful and consistent option. You can get that as a TM in the Seafloor Cavern, and it's absolutely worth going for because 100 power, 100 accuracy on Swampert Stab is so good, and that'll get you through so many things across the late part of the game. The next move I have for Swampert will be Rock Slide, and that can be gone as a TM on Route 134 as a TM. It's a very nice option. It can allow Swampert to deal with flying types, as there is a flying gym, so it's a nice option if you want to do that as well. And it can also allow Swampert to deal with the ice types in the Elite Four if you really want to, which you're not weak to ice, so it's absolutely a good choice. As is the next move, Brick Break. That can be gone as a TM in Sootopolis City, and that gives Swampert some really nice coverage towards the end of the game because it can allow Swampert to deal with the dark types in the Elite Four. It can also allow Swampert to deal with the ice types in the Elite Four again, so it gives Swampert so much more coverage towards the end of the game. It's so useful. Swampert does not find too many places in Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire where it struggles. It can really carry itself through so many of the gyms, like the Rock Gym at the very start it can deal with. Swampert's obviously the best choice for the Electric Gym because you'll be super effective against all of them. Against Flannery, the Fire type gym leader, you can easily go through that. With Rock Slide you can deal with the Flying type gym leader. With either of your stabs you can deal with both of the Psychic type Pokemon because they're also Rock types. You can easily find so many uses, dealing with the Ice types and Dark types. And then in the Champion fight against Steven you can deal with the Aggron. There's so many Pokemon that you can deal with Swampert. It's such a nice pick. With this moveset, you should be able to make Swampert probably the most independent Pokemon on the team, especially when it has not many weaknesses, only one to Grass. Don't have it in against a Grass Pokemon, that's all it is. And then Swampert will be able to deal with pretty much anything it encounters. Swampert's absolutely the strongest pick you can make in a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and it's our first team member. The second Pokemon we have on our team will be a very early encounter at that, and it's a very strong one as well. It is Gardevoir. Now, I had to include Gardevoir on one of these teams for Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire because it's such a powerful Pokemon. Psychic and Fairy, a great combo, goes very well into the fighting gym because you need something for that, and its stats are really nice. Base 125 special attack, base 115 special defense, it's very good on the special side, and base 80 speed, so you know, it's got some speed for it. You can get a Ralts on Route 102, which is really early. I think once you get a Ralts, you can evolve it into Curlier for the fighting gym, and it'll be able to take you through that very easily. It's a very nice encounter to get, and it's so good later on as well. The moveset I'm choosing for Gardevoir will be Moonblast, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Thunderbolt. Moonblast will be your highest power special fairy move, and that can be gotten from the Mover Learner. You'll need a heart scale for the Mover Learner, but that's alright. The Mover Learner will be found in Farlborough Town, so it's absolutely worth it. If you want to use Dazzling Gleam, you can, but it's absolutely worth the spending on the heart scale on the Mover Learner, so getting Moonblast, so much more power, it's so good. The next move I have for Gardevoir will be Psychic, and that'll be learnt at level 31. Curlier will evolve into Gardevoir at level 30, so it'll be one level after you evolve. This is the best Psychic special move you'll be able to get for Gardevoir, very nice option. The third move I've got for Gardevoir will be Shadow Ball. It's a very nice coverage move, and you can get that TM in Mount Pierre. It's very good because that can allow it to deal with the Ghost types in the Elite Four if you really want to, and you know, it allows it to cover one of its weaknesses to Ghost in that sense, so really good as well. The last move I've got for Gardevoir will be Thunderbolt, and that can be gotten as a TM in Morval City. You will have to do a quest for Watson, but when you come back, he will then give you the TM for Thunderbolts. But it's such a nice coverage on Gardevoir. It can deal with flying types, so you can bring it to the flying type gym if you want to, and you can bring it to the water gym at the very end, the last gym. Very good option for that if you really want to. It's a very nice option. Unfortunately, you can't get the Mega Stone for Gardevoir, but you don't really need it because Gardevoir is just such a strong Pokemon. It's very independent. Finds so many uses all throughout the region. With this moveset, you can use it against multiple gyms, the Fighting Gym, Flying Gym, Water Gym, and then in the late game, with the Fairy typing and its move Moonblast, you can use it against the Dragon Gym very easily, and you can find Pokemon in the Champion fight to deal with as well. And that is our second team member, it's Gardevoir. The third Pokemon we have on our team for Swampert will be Breloom. Now, I specifically put Breloom on the team for Swampert because it's the only starter where Breloom will not overlap a typing, because it's a grass fighting type. It's very good for Swampert's team, but it will overlap with any of the other starters, but it's absolutely a good Pokemon to have. If you look at its stats, it's basically all attack. Base 130, which is really good. The main selling point is that you've got really high attack, and Breloom's typing grass and fighting comes into play a lot throughout the region, and it's really nice to have. You can get a Shroomish in the Petalburg Woods, and it will evolve at level 23, so it's a really early evolution, and having something that with base 130 attack when you're at level 23 is really valuable. The moveset I'm choosing for Breloom will be Seed Bomb, Brick Break, Power Up Punch, and Leech Seed. Seed Bomb will be your highest power physical grass move that Breloom will be able to access, and you'll get that at level 44. It's a very nice option if you want to use that to deal with the water types towards last gym. It's a very good option if you want to. The next move we have for Breloom will be Brick Break. Once again, that can be gone as a TM in Zootopia City. Brick Break is just such a great move because it's a very consistent 75 power fighting move, and the added effect of breaking any light screens or reflects as well. So if you need to do that, it's a very nice option. That'll get you through lots of Pokemon you'll find towards the end, especially the Aggron being quad weak to fighting. Very good option for that. And also, use moves like Rock Smash or Force Palm before that if you need to, it'll be fine. The next move we have for Breloom will be Power Up Punch, and this is probably the most interesting move on the team. That can be bought as a TM in the Morval Pokemart. Very good option because if you use it, it'll raise your attack by 1. Sure, it's only 40 base power, but after you use it, raises your attack by +1. Very good option for Breloom. Sure, Breloom's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's absolutely a good option. If you can raise your attack up to any extent, when you've already got base 130, such a great option. Breloom is very, very powerful, can kill so many things very easily, and if you can set up with Breloom, even better. The last move I have for Breloom will be Leech Seed, and you can get that from the Mover Learner, and I've decided to go with this because it gives you a nice option for getting residual healing throughout the battle and residual damage against the Pokemon against you if you need to. Sure, Breloom's not like the bulkiest thing in the world, but it's a nice option to have because after that his TMs don't get too varied, so having Leech Seed on a Pokemon is very nice. Breloom is a really nice option to go for in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and take advantage of the fact that if you choose Swampert, it's not going to overlap any typing, so absolutely a great option. So good for getting you past the Norman Gym fight. It can deal with the slacking quite well. It's 130 attack, it's nothing to scoff at, it's so powerful. I'd absolutely recommend you go for Breloom because, Shroomish is a really early encounter, same with Gardevoir, it's very powerful, and it's our third team member. The fourth Pokemon we have on the team for Swampert will be Magnezone. Magnezone is just such a legend, such a great Pokemon to have, which this didn't exist in Gen 3, so you should take advantage of the fact that you can get Magnezone in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. If you look at its stats, base 130 special attack is very nice, and its defense is 115 physical and then 90 special, really good. And Electric Steel is such a great combo, super effective against fairies and resistant to about 9 or 10 types, that's really good. You'll be able to get Magnemite on Route 110, which is the same area you can get an Electrike if you want to, but I'd absolutely go for Magnezone on this team because it gives you something to deal with fairy types, because I think they're evil, all those fairies. The moveset I'm shooting for Magnezone will be Thunderbolt, Flash Cannon, Volt Switch, and Toxic. Thunderbolt can be gotten once again from Morval City. Once you do a quest for Watson, he'll give you the TM for that. It's the best electric option for Magnezone. You can use Discharge if you don't want to do that quest, but Thunderbolt is higher power, about 90 or 95 power, really consistent. I'd recommend that. The next move I have for Magnezone will be Flash Cannon. That can be gotten at level 33, takes advantage of your 130 special attack very well, and you need something to deal with all those fairies as well. That would be your option. The next move I have for Magnezone will be Volt Switch, and that can be gotten from defeating the Electric Gym in Morval City. Watson will give that to you once you defeat him, and it's a very nice option for making Magnezone even more flexible. Sure, he's not the fastest Pokemon to use Volt Switch, but if you're in a bad matchup, you can use it if you want to. It'll get you into a better matchup if you need to. Having one of those moves on the team is really nice. And because of Magnezone's super high special attack, it'll hit like a truck still when it switches out as well. It's really nice. The last move I have for Magnezone will be Toxic, and that can be got as a TM on the Fiery Path, and that'll be by around Route 112, and it's just a nice option for Magnezone after that because he can't really learn anything that's not like a normal Steel or Electric move, and we've already got those on the team really, so I'd go for Toxic. It's a nice option if you want to Toxic a tough opponent, then whittle them down later, and Magnezone is a great option for that because he's very bulky, it'll take a while to defeat Magnezone, and you know, when you get Sturdy half the time as well, it's really good. One thing I did notice when I used Magnezone on my team is it's probably the best Pokemon to send out against Steven in the champion fight because he starts with a Skarmory and you quad resist both of Skarmory's stabs, so it's really good to have it for the champion fight there. Again, Magnezone is probably one of the best options for the water gym near the end, and of course against the flying gym, you know, having an electric move is so good towards those last gyms, and you know, Magnezone is such a great option for those, you know, 130 special attack, and also with Thunderbolts, almost nothing will survive if you do super effective damage. He's just that powerful. And that's our fourth team member, it's Magnezone. Now the next Pokemon might be an interesting choice, but I've decided to go for this because it's good typings on the team and it doesn't duplicate any types. It is Froslass. You can get a snow run in the Shoal Cave during the low tide, which that area is north of Moss Deep City, and I think Froslass is actually really good. If you look at its stats, it's 110 base speed, which it'll be the fastest Pokemon on this team. Sure, it doesn't have like the best offenses, 80 in both attack and special attack, but the typing is really important. Ghost and Ice is really nice towards the late game for the Elite Four, and you do need a Dawnstone to evolve it, but you'll get that Dawnstone when you defeat Wally in front of the Elite Four, and then you can use it right for the Elite Four, which that's what it's on this team for. The moveset I'm choosing for Froslass will be Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, Psychic, and Hail. Shadow Ball will be your highest power special ghost move, and that can be learnt at level 42. It's a really nice option. You can use it against the ghost types in the Elite Four, and because you're such a fast one, you have a very good chance of outspeeding the other Pokemon that you'll find in the Ghost Elite Four. The next move I'm choosing for Froslass will be Ice Beam, and it's a very complicated TM to get. You do have to do a puzzle in around Route 108, and it's like a sunken ship called Seamorval, and you have to do a puzzle where you go to different rooms, talk to people, and then you get the TM for Ice Beam, but it is worth it because it's a very consistent special ice move around 90 or 95 power, and you can use that against the dragons in the Elite Four, so it's a very good option for that, and I would recommend you go for it. The third move I've gotten for Froslass will be Psychic, and that can be gotten from Evergrande City as a TM, and I'd recommend you get this because, again, it's nice coverage against certain Pokemon that you may encounter. You can learn a few other ones like Thunderbolt, but you've got Magnezone for that, so I've decided to go with Psychic. The last move I have for Froslass will be Hail, and that can be learnt at level 54, and it's a nice move because that takes advantage of its ability where it can raise its evasion during a hailstorm, and because you're so fast you can set up Hail, and then you have a chance of dodging moves every turn, so Froslass is not a Pokemon that to just completely dismiss. I put it on the team for a reason. It's nice type diversity, it can come into play in the league quite a lot, and also with its ability you have a chance of just sweeping teams because you might not be able to get hit during the hailstorms, and you can set them up very quickly. And Froslass being such a quick Pokemon, you have a chance of just knocking out Pokemon that are right in front of you if you do super effective damage. It is a bit complicated getting a Froslass on your team because obviously you have to catch a snow run during low tide and you have to use a Dawnstone, which you only get when you basically get to the Pokemon League, but I'd highly recommend it. It's definitely better than Glalie because it's more type coverage, and I think Froslass has got the better stat spread as well. And that is our fifth team member, it's Froslass. Here we are, the sixth team member on the team for Swampert is one of the pseudo-legendaries from Hoenn. It is Salamence. I'm so happy that I was able to put Salamence on one of these teams because it is such a valuable Pokemon and it's amazing that you can get one before the end of the game. If you look at its stats, base 135 physical attack is great, really good at special attack at 110, then our base 100 speed, so very quick and nice HP. It's pseudo-legendary, base stat total of 600, it's so good to have. You can get a Bagon from the Meteor Falls when you're on the lowest floor you can. I think it's also the same area where you would get the Dragon Claw TM because you can surf across a little lake and then you get the Dragon Claw TM. In that area, if you run around on the floor, you can get Bagon and then you'll be able to evolve into Shelgon, then Salamence at level 50. The moveset I'm choosing for Salamence will be Dragon Claw, Flamethrower, Fly, and Earthquake. Dragon Claw will be your highest power, most consistent dragon move, and that'll be gotten once you catch Bagon. It should have Dragon Claw when you catch it, but of course if it doesn't, you can just surf across that little area where you caught your Bagon, and then you can get the Dragon Claw TM if you really need it. But it's the highest power, most consistent move, very good for getting you through the Dragon Elite Four, it's really nice to have. The next move I have for Salamence will be Flamethrower, and that can be learned at level 49, and it's great that it can learn it by level up because it gives it really nice super effective coverage, and it can allow it to even deal with the ice types, which is really nice, and you can send it out against the Skarmory and the Steven fight as well. It's super effective against so many more types, and 110 special attack is still really good, so I'd recommend Flamethrower. The third move I have for Salamence will be Fly, and that can be learned when Shelgon evolves into Salamence at level 50. And if you can't get it there, you just teach it the HM that you already have. Fly is the best option for a physical flying move, and that can allow it to deal with fighting types that you may encounter, or grass or bug types, but you know, Flamethrower would also do the same for those latter types. The last move I've chosen for Salamence will be Earthquake, and like I explained earlier, that'll be gone in the seafloor cabin as a TM. Very nice option for Salamence. 100 power, 100% accurate ground move, really nice, takes advantage of your 135 special attack. You can use it against the Aggron in the champion fight, and obviously it has Sturdy, but you would take it down to its Sturdy. It's a really good option for that, and it gives it so much good coverage with this moveset. I know that Bagon is also quite late game in terms of when you catch it, but the first 4 team members in this team are really good for a team on Swampert, and they are very independent. They can carry you through the game to the point where you can get a Bagon, and it's really good. And once you get a Salamence as well, it's basically game over for anyone else who encounters you. But going through the league, the Dragon Elite Four, it won't be a problem really. And that is our 6th team member, it's Salamence. And this is my final team for Swampert. This might be the single strongest team that I've ever done in a top team series. The first 4 Pokemon I've used on this team, so from Swampert to Magnezone, I had them on my team when I first played through Omega Ruby. They're just such powerful Pokemon. They get you through the hurdles, which are all the gyms, very easily, and all the rest of the members on this team, they deal with the Elite Four types very easily, and go through the champion fight will not be a problem at all. Swampert is no doubt the strongest Pokemon you can pick for Omega Ruby, and I would highly recommend it because it makes the beginning of the playthrough so much easier. Being able to deal with the rock types and also electric types, they shouldn't be a problem because they can't hit you with any electric moves, and you can hit the Magnemites and Magneton for quite effective damage as well with ground moves, so really good option. And obviously the other team members like Breloom, they'll get you over those big hurdles like Norman and the Slackings. They can deal with them very easily, so there shouldn't be any problems for Swampert, and this is such a powerful team. I would recommend you go for every single Pokemon I've listed. Well, thank you so much for watching that, guys. That does conclude the top teams for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I really enjoyed making these, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.